The Civil Rights Act of 1964 did not improve race relations or enhance freedom. Now, you were not subject to segregation before the 1964 Civil Rights Act, so is it possible that you don't know or you don't understand that the removal of segregation was in fact an enhancement of freedom for African Americans who were not allowed to drink from the same drinking fountain as you were, who were not allowed to patronize certain restaurants, who were not allowed to do all sorts of things? Their freedom was very sharply restricted by law until that law. So how can you say that it did not enhance freedom?
Well, what I have said is certain portions of that bill were unconstitutional. By getting rid of the laws in the states that were blatantly unconstitutional, I mean, and were illegal, they should have been repealed. There's nothing wrong with repealing these things, but to take over private property is a different thing. Taking over private property to tell people what to do with their private property is like taking over the bedrooms and saying what you're going to do in the bedroom.
You mean
so if
restaurants,
you can take,
right? You mean those dining.
I'm talking about private property. I am talking about all private property. Wait.
You mean those dining counters that black people tried to integrate? You think those should not have been integrated because that's private property?
No, listen, Lawrence, listen to me, because those were all the laws that were written. Martin Luther King,
did it
if you knew
enhance
anything about
freedom
me,
to
you
get
know
rid
that,
of those laws? Did it enhance freedom to get rid of those laws?
No, look, you're grossly misrepresenting what I'm saying.
The Civil Rights Act of 1964 did not improve race relations or enhance freedom. The words of Ron Paul, word for word, you said that.
Well, if you understood exactly what the freedom philosophy does, it brings people together. Martin Luther King did not advocate some of the things that go on today. What he advocated was treating everybody equally and get rid of the laws. See, he practiced a libertarian principle by saying that, by practicing civil disobedience. That is great. Nullification of the laws, civil disobedience, in order to repeal the laws. Segregation in this country has always been the government. Just think of the military, the army, the slavery. It's only the libertarian principles of treating everybody as an individuals. So slavery on up to the military, guess where the first real integration occurred? Voluntarily in sports. So the portions of the law in 1964 that were bad because they violated property rights, I object to that because it violates the property rights of people who want to have privacy in their bedroom. And that private, economic and personal liberty are all in the same. So when you understand that, you understand. See, Barry Goldwater was opposed to that, and he wasn't, he wasn't considered an evil person. Back then, Chris Matthews was a supporter of Barry Goldwater on his position. So to demagogue this and pick this up, yeah, I think you're really desperate.
Congressman, let's not try to pretend that libertarianism is what changed segregation in this country. It was activist, liberal government that changed segregation. Otherwise, it would still be with us. It took activist, liberal Washington government in the Civil Rights Act to end that segregation that you properly decry. All right, sure. We're going to go out on that agreement.
We want to repeal. We want to repeal. All you need to do is repeal the Jim Crow laws. All we say is that you repeal the bad laws and you treat people equally under the law. That is what you do. And unfortunately today, everything is done by group rights. Individuals have rights. You don't have rights because you belong to a group. Property rights are identical to personal liberty and social liberties. And you have property rights. Your right to be on TV is a property rights because people can't march in to your station and have prior restraint. And that is exactly what all property. You can't pick and choose on your property and say, oh, you can have private property rights and freedom in your church, but not in your store, your house, and whatnot. So it is a poor understanding that brings us to this. So I should say that it is the libertarian that understands this, and Martin Luther King understood this, and he used libertarian principles by practicing peaceful civil disobedience and also repealing laws. Here, you in the early part of the program, you condemn me for wanting to repeal laws. Well, I'm the one that wants to repeal the Jim Crow laws. That's what we wanted to do. That's what a libertarian wants. So you don't understand that, and that's okay, but others have.
Congressman Ron Paul,
so check with your staff too. Check with your staff about your agreements. I mean, you just were very discourteous on what you have done, and this is not the debate that you had asked for. And so therefore, after you doing a very nice thing, you gave me a very nice quote on your program, I believe, one night. Read my whole quote.
Listen, no one has been, look, you're so plain-spoken in certain situations. No one has been clearer, more powerful on this issue of locating a Islamic center near Ground Zero. No one's been more clear on that. I wish we had more time to talk about Medicare and other issues. Congressman Ron Paul, Republican of Texas, I thank you very much for joining us. Please come back and let's do more of this.
Well, good luck. Good luck.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Congressman.